I am on my way to Norwich today to look at a very interesting mosque and the even more interesting story of how it first came to be. At the end of the 1960s, a man from Scotland went to Morocco. Now, normally no one would have cared about this, let alone be talking about it 50 years later. But in this case, this man was Ian Dallas, and it was in Morocco that he was introduced to Islam. And returning to the UK, he was Muslim. Now, even that is not the biggest thing in the world, but the thing we need to remember is that this was in the 1960s, and Ian Dallas was one of the first Muslims to be in the United Kingdom. Ian Dallas, or Abdul Qadir as he was known from then on, began to set up a Muslim community in his local area. And it was in 1972 that a small Muslim community emerged in West London. This community then moved from West London to Norwich, where I am today. Having moved to Norwich, this community then set up a mosque in an old school building. This specific school building behind me, which has a very interesting architectural style. Now, Victorian Gothic architecture style, or also known as Neo-Gothic architecture style, or Gothic Revival, draws features from the original Gothic style, like decorative patterns, stained glass windows, and it was a very popular style by the mid-19th century. However, the reason why it's interesting is because of the religious roots and connections that Victorian Gothic architecture has. It's a common sight to see this kind of architecture style around churches, so it's quite funny that the first ever mosque that was built in Norwich was built with the same kind of architectural style as other religious sites. Now, the formation of the mosque in Norwich is actually quite different from other parts of the UK, primarily because Norwich is not a port town. Really, it's just got a canal. Is this a canal? A river? A stream? I don't know. It's got a short waterway. It's not connected to the sea in any way. And in England, majority of the time, the mosque was set up by a diaspora group. Now, a diaspora group is when a large group of people come from a different part of the world. So obviously, when you have mass migration, that creates a diaspora group. And it was them that set up mosques in different parts of the country. And now the Muslim community in Norwich was not set up by a diaspora group. It was set up locally. And that goes to show that the mosque is not really some foreign innovation, but it's actually been set up locally. However, Norwich was different because really, it started with one man. And that one man helped to create a community that stands to this day. So it goes to show that one man can make a large enough difference that's talked about more than 50 years later. Have I finished all my filming here? Yes. Am I going to leave? No. I still got time on my parking. I paid for 2 hours, I'm going to stay here for 2 hours, I don't care. Alright, let's go film some B-roll.